I first started photography when I was 18 years old. At that time, I had just finished my junior college education. So I had 3 months before I entered army. And my literature teacher at that time saw that I had some interest in art in general, recommended me to take up the course, which I did, and I fell in love with it. I remember class was every morning. After the first morning, I just been looking for the next one. So that's how I began my passion for photography. To describe in one sentence is tough. It's tough. But I would like to think of myself, if I can, ideally I would like to think of myself as a storyteller. And that's what I aim to do, is to make stories that are personal to me. The thing that sets photography apart from other art forms is that it forces you to confront your immediate and present reality. For instance, in painting, you can paint a night sky in the daytime. In writing, you can be writing something completely otherworldly from the comfort of your own room. But photography, you cannot. You have to be there, you have to be present. That's the most fundamental difference, is that you are forced to make a connection between you and the thing that is being photographed in the real world. And I think that it's through this unique feature of photography that we have the potential, the capacity to establish a kind of relationship with the world, with the people around you, with the environment that you live in. And that to me is the greatest transformation. It's not so much that you take the picture, but the picture takes you. You are changed by what you do. So I think that to me is what it's about, actually. I felt very powerful, actually, because I'm not just the subject, I'm also the director, I'm also the photographer. I'm playing a lot of roles, and I like that work because it allowed me to become somebody else. I first started the work when I was attending a workshop in Cambodia, and what happened basically was that we had to make a work in 7 days. And the first few days I really didn't know what I was doing, and then on the 4th day I decided that instead of photographing I'm going to transform myself into one of them and make a fictional story about myself as them. So I tried different characters at first. Like I tried to be a construction worker, I tried to be a tuk-tuk driver, but they all didn't fall through, you know, because those characters are defined by a vocation, like tuk-tuk driver or construction worker is a vocation, it's a job. But being a ladyboy is different. There's a lot of room in this character for me to play. I see it kind of like a performance that's intended solely to be documented by the camera. So I just transformed myself into a girl, into a ladyboy. And at the time in Siem Reap, you always see them around at night, and I didn't want to like just make a documentary about them. For me, that's not so interesting. I want to try to, at least to some extent, put myself in their shoes. And as a guy, I learned how to walk in heels. I learned how to do makeup. I got the right wig for my face. I dressed up in women's clothes. I wore a bra and and everything. I played that part, and I tried to document the life of this new character that I have developed for myself based on what I have seen. So I kind of like internalized what I see with my own body. Yeah. So it was a very liberating experience. I first started homework. I first got the idea to do homework when I finished a show in France. It was a big show. I was nominated for the Discovery Award in the Arles Photo Festival for my Shauna work. And you can imagine that it wasn't easy for my parents when I was doing that work. But my dad actually messaged me when I was in France. The first time he ever SMS'd me, and he said, "Never give up. If you think what you're doing is right, just carry on." So it really, I mean, I was very moved because, you know, it's not easy for an Asian dad to say that. And especially when you think about the kind of work I was doing, it's not easy for them. So I was very impressed, and I told myself that perhaps it's time for me to do something about my family, do work about my family. And also, the thing about the Shona work is that at some point, it's very hard to continue if I don't cross the line. You know, I can't just keep on playing the game. It has to reach a point of uneasiness. You know, whether it means sleeping with a guy, or whether it means like really becoming a lady boy for like 3 months in the real life district looking for clients. You know, I don't know, but this kind of work, there's only one way of progressing, and that's becoming more and more extreme. And if not, it's never going to be strong. You know, so I told myself there are some boundaries that I can't cross. So I just stopped the work. I stopped the work and I started my family work, which I found was equally fulfilling as well. Yeah. I mean, I don't dare to say that it has made me a better person. I suppose photography can make you a better person, just like how martial arts can make you a more disciplined person, but I don't think photography alone is enough, you know. I can't say that it has made me a better person, but I can say that it has made me somebody who is constantly thinking about how to live life in a more meaningful way, how to live a life that is different, not a life that is not something that ascribed to me by society. Because as a photographer, inevitably you live a life that's a little bit different from the average person, and I don't mean this in any kind of like cynical way. It's just that that's the way that it is. You don't have a regular job. You're not paid a monthly salary. There's no bonus, CPF, whatever. You're freelance. And to make things a little bit more complicated, if you are a photographer who is mainly concerned about making your own personal stories, you find yourself engaging in an activity that, for the most part, doesn't generate you any kind of income and has no immediate discernible benefits, except that it satisfies you and it fulfills you. And so through that I learned about, you know, actually I'm happiest when I'm making work that I'm truly concerned about, even if it doesn't pay me nothing. I mean, honestly, if you do your personal work, you only make when you sell. And so when you're making it 3 years of making one body of work, there's no benefit. It's just, I really enjoy it, I really love it. And I think that it has enriched my life in this way. But being a better person, if you talk about it like in the moral sense, I think that photography can raise some very difficult moral questions, but ultimately it has to take more than just photography to become better. Yeah. I think my advice to young photographers would be to try your best to develop a very close and personal relationship with your own work. To always question yourself, always think about what it is that you are really doing, what it is that you really want to do. Make works that you are truly concerned about, not just to follow a trend or to follow what people are doing. That doesn't mean that you remain ignorant. You try to find out as much about photography as possible, because in this day and age, it's possible with the internet to know everything that you need to know about any particular subject, and you have to exploit that. That can never replace the personal bond and personal relationship that one develops with his or her own work, and that's what's most important. Don't be in a rush to make exhibitions or make a new book or to get into this, you know, this festival or that festival. I think all those things are perks of being a photographer. Those are amazing things. It's great to have ambitions, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is what have you done, you know, the quality of work that you do, the connection that you have with your own work, and how your work has enriched you, and what you can contribute. So I think that's the main thing, I think.